let's do it. Let's talk about the Kyle Shanahan decision.
Oh boy.
So of course the decision was the new overtime rules were changed this past year.
Or 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And now each team gets a chance to score. As traditionally, if you just go down, if you get the coin flip and you win it and you score a touchdown, game's over. Now both teams get a chance to possess. So the question is,
and this is only in the playoffs.
Yeah, only in the playoffs,
specifically for the playoffs.
And so, there's a decision about if you receive the ball or if you defer the ball, because if you go first, then the other team knows exactly what they need to do. If they score a touchdown, the other team knows they can go score a touchdown and whatnot. So it does spur the debate, and we'll talk about it. But essentially, the 49ers chose that they wanted to receive the ball and go first. Kansas City always wanted to get the ball second, no matter what. And that was the big debate, was like Kansas City got what they wanted no matter what.
Yeah.
Because they were always going to take the ball second. And so people think Kyle Shanahan made a bad decision.
Yeah.
What are our thoughts on the decision?
So I'm a big proponent of, I would rather have like my destiny in my hands, and I would have like kicked it away, deferred it.
Okay.
Because it's like, think about it like this, like, you know that in these new overtime rules, if they score, you know what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have Patrick Mahomes go down the field and score,
and
then know what I need to do. Because just like the Chiefs did say, they said, if they take it first, we're just going to go for two afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather put my fate in my own team's hand on offense than have to go see what happens on we get the ball, see what happens, and then give the ball to Patrick Mahomes, who can do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's I think I agree with you on that one. Like, I think you definitely defer there and just like see what the other team does 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a chess move of like letting the other guy go first to like show his hand essentially, and like, okay, well, we can then react and we can work off of this, because then like worst comes to worst, you give them the ball. And it's like, okay, well, maybe they only score the field goal, or if we're able to stop them, then we only need a field goal. Like, yep. It completely changes the game plan and everything. So it seemed very obvious that the second that the game went to overtime, the 49ers had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah. No.
Like, when it came to offensively, it seemed like, okay, they could drive down the field and they can almost like try to score. Yes. But situationally, they were so lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, both from the top down, like, deferring, like, and then like the 49ers coming out later saying like, yeah, we didn't really know what the rules were. Like, that's insane.
And so what I want to do is I want to separate what the players said and what Kyle Shanahan did, because obviously it's inexcusable for the players not to know what happened. Yeah. I don't know if that was a coaching thing. I'm sure Kyle knew what he was doing. Mm-hmm. He's the head coach of the football team. I'd sure hope he knew what he's doing. Maybe he just didn't feel like the need to communicate it to the players.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's a bad decision, but I'm going to separate that. That's obviously bad. About Kyle Shanahan's decision, it is obvious to me that you received the ball in that situation. I think statistics would back that up and whatnot, but I will defend Kyle Shanahan's decision because it's completely, what we're basing it off of is complete hindsight. If the 49ers go down there and score a touchdown, the Chiefs now know they need to go score a touchdown, and the Chiefs had said they would go for two. So that puts a lot of pressure on the Chiefs, because you do get 4 downs, yes, but that means you have to get a touchdown and you have to get the 2-point conversion. So if the Chiefs go for the 2-point conversion and miss it, it's over. By going first, you put so much pressure on them to go for that. If they don't go for the 2-point conversion, it's both teams score a touchdown. The 49ers get the ball back. A field goal wins the game. Mm-hmm. So they were pretty much going on the mindset that they would get the ball twice, potentially, if they evened up their score. And the Chiefs would only get the ball once. And it almost worked out. And this is what bothers me about the hindsight, because
you're right. It was very close to actually working.
Because the Chiefs would have kicked the field. Like, everyone was like, you gave Patrick Mahomes 4 downs the entire time. You did not, because the Chiefs would have kicked the field goal had they been like a 45-yard. If it was like 4th and 7 and they had a 45-yard field goal, are you going to take the chance that you're going to convert a 4th and 7, or are you going to just kick the field goal, tie the game up, and then try to get a full defensive stop? Yeah. I think you kick the field goal because 4th and 7s are hard to convert.
Yeah.
But you at least start having the debate. So this idea that people are like, oh, you gave Mahomes four downs and he knew exactly what he needed to do. No, because they could have kicked the field goal and tied the game up. I don't think they would have gone for the ball. Would have gone for it on a 4th and 8, 4th and 7 if they were in field goal range, because they would have been like, okay,
then you got to try to stay alive.
Yeah, you need to stay alive, because if you just miss that, game's over. They won on a field goal, but if you kick the field goal, you can say, hey, our defense is really good. We stopped them. we get the ball back again and we can kick our own field goal to win. So
Yeah.
I think it's completely hindsight. Also, the 49ers did a great job of asserting pressure early on with the game plan they had in place. It obviously fell apart at the end, but they marched right down on the Chiefs in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
They were really close to scoring a touchdown. They get a short field goal. And they almost stopped the Chiefs multiple times on that drive by having their defense go second. They had a 4th and 1 opportunity that they botched because, they didn't botch, but Patrick Mahomes ran a read option they weren't expecting. They were on a 3rd and 6 at the Kansas City 45, and they converted a pass to Rashee Rice. They had another 3rd down and 3rd and 1 when Mahomes ran for the first. Like, they did a good job in that situation, doing a great job on offense by going first. Mm-hmm. Defensively, they were ready, and they just let up a touchdown at the end, and it ends the game. Yeah. Hindsight's like that, but I think the idea here that like they had no idea or it was like a complete like wrong decision. It's like it didn't work out, but if Kansas City kicks the field goal, 49, it's 3-3, 49ers get the ball back, sudden death situation. All they got to do is kick a field goal and they win the Super Bowl. And then we would be sitting here like, well, going first paid off. So it's a complete hindsight decision. Obviously, I think analytics favor going second. And I think that's obvious. And the Chiefs were more prepared for that. The inexcusable stuff is that Kyle Shanahan didn't have his team ready to know what they were doing.
That was my whole thing. Like, I can understand if it's just a genuine, like, look, this is the decision we're going to be making as a team. Fine. It really just didn't seem like anybody knew what was going on.
And I give Kyle credit. You can see in the mic'd up, he just tells Fred Warner, he's like, we want the ball. Like, he just said that. And I was like, well, at least you're not like debating or having the debate or whatever. Like you knew what you were doing in that situation, whether you want to debate if it's right or wrong. Like he knew what he wanted to do. And I think it goes first. First of all, Brock Purdy is like a young quarterback, like underdrafted. Like also by having him go first, it's less pressure.
It also gives the defense time to rest then against that.
Because remember, the Chiefs just went down and marched down. Their defense was just on the field. So you can easily make an argument that, well, our defense, and I know Shanahan didn't say it was because the defense was tired, but
like they probably were.
They probably were. Like you give your defense a little bit of a break. You give your offense to go out there. You are an offensive coordinator. You feel like going first, you can assert pressure. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe if they score the touchdown, they're like, we're going for 2.
Yeah, screw it. Yeah,
we're going for 2. We're going to make Kansas City get 8. You don't know. So I don't like all the back door. This was a terrible decision. Obviously, the Chiefs got what they wanted to, but the Chiefs had to go down and execute, and they did. And the 49ers didn't execute at the level the Chiefs did, and that's why they lost.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Do we have any more thoughts on the Shanahan decision?
I think that's all covered.
I think that's it.
I just think like I would be upset for Shanahan if this goes down as something that people are like, wow, he like dropped the ball.
That's what lost him the Super Bowl. That decision didn't lose him the Super Bowl.
There's a lot. People forget Shanahan was the guy who went for it on 4th and 3 earlier in the game when they were in field goal range, converted,
scored the touchdown.
That's what they get the touchdown on.
Yep.
That's a 4-point swing right there. You're not even in that spot without that ballsy decision.
That was like the only catch George Kittle had the entire game.
So that's a huge play there where it's like I don't question Kyle Shanahan in that situation. It didn't work out. It'd be like that.
I question why the team didn't know that.
That's very suspect. I don't quite know why they didn't know
why there wasn't a
on.
communication between everybody.
Like, and I think it's something in exit interviews he's going to have to talk about. Like maybe they did it today. Cause I know Steve Wilkes just got fired, but like maybe they talked about it. Why the team wasn't prepared. I'm guessing Kyle was just like, oh, I'm not going to let them worry about it. Like I'll just make the decisions. Obviously the Chiefs knew exactly what they were going to do, but again, different caliber here. Championship, been there before. Prepared.
They said they were preparing for it since September.
Yep.
That like they even said like if we're ever in the playoffs, this is the scenario, and they just practiced it.
And I give them a lot of credit because that's what championship teams do.
Yep.